Let's begin practicing applying L'Hopital's rule to different limits. Before you apply the L'Hopital's rule, make sure that you are working with the case of infinity over infinity, plus minus minus plus, any is fine, or 0 over 0. You cannot apply L'Hopital's rule in other cases. So let me plug 0 and see which case do I have here. E to the 0 minus 1 sine of 0. That gives me 0 over 0 case. Thus, I can apply L'Hopital's rule. I will show you an interesting notation. This notation is not really used in America, but it is pretty popular in Europe. That's how I was taught, for example, in Ukraine. So, we were taught to put a little L or LH on top of the equal sign and write down infinity on infinity, so you have good notes in the future. Because now you are allowed to take the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator separately. That it is not a quotient rule, remember that. Derivative of e to the x is e to the x. Derivative of minus 1 is 0. Derivative of sine gives me cosine. Copy the function inside. Chain rule says don't stop. Multiply by the derivative of the function inside. The function inside gives me 14 when I differentiate it. Remember that was chain rule here. Hopefully you're really good at chain rule at this moment, at this point. So this notation is really good because now if you go back to review those notes to prepare for the final exam, this denominator, for example, came up out of nowhere unless you remember that you differentiated the numerator and denominator separately. Continue. Sometimes you need to apply L'Hopital's rule twice. Let's see if that's the case. E at 0, that's gonna give me 1. And now I have cosine of 0 times 14. That gives me the final answer. Now we have 1 in the numerator. Cosine of 0 is also 1. And now it's multiplied by 14 in the denominator. The answer is 1 over 14. And that is the final answer. Remember, the whole interesting part of the L'Hopital's rule is that you differentiate the top and differentiate the bottom of the fraction separately. So it's much easier than to use quotient rule. And the idea behind L'Hopital's rule is that instead of comparing the ratio of the original functions, we will compare the ratio of their derivatives. And it is proven through the theorem, which you definitely should check out. Thank you for watching.